Welcome back to the R-Rated Podcast. The R-Rated Podcast. This week's guest is... Welcome back to the R-Rated Podcast. Today's guest is Israel Gomez, aka Izzy. Izzy like the drink?
Oh yeah, right?
You're like, oh,
yeah.
you were
spelled
not
with the Y.
You were not happy about that. You're like, yeah.
I just like, get it a lot.
You're like, you're not original. I know.
No, not in that way. People spell it like ISY. That's the worst spelling of Izzy.
Yeah, wait, I spelled it IZZY. Is that correct?
Yeah,
okay.
Totally. That's what I
was like, I'm embarrassed.
Yeah.
I'm embarrassed.
Izzy?
Izzy?
That's not even how I say it.
Wait, okay, Israel Gomez. What's your background?
I'm I actually just did a 23andMe type thing to find out. Yeah.
So you're a little bit of everything?
Yeah. So, no, I found out that I'm 98% Mesoamerican, which is what I expected.
Okay.
Like, basically full-blown Mexican from like the most rural part of
I'm
Mexico.
Mexican too.
Hey. Right now my family's in Mexico. They went without me.
To be fair, to give you guys some backstory, Izzy's last day is today, right?
Yes. Yeah.
I'm making today your last day. No, I'm just kidding.
So.
Today's his last day. We met on Fatal Attraction. If you can't tell already, this is not the usual space that I record. I usually record in my little, studio that I made myself. So this is a little different. But as you can see, this is an office. This is actually where I was dealing with all the COVID stuff and managing the COVID department for Fatal. And this is also where I met Izzy in the halls of LACS. Give me some backstory. Like, how did you get here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very. It's funny because I feel like we just started
Yesterday?
We obviously started. Yeah, right. Because we started 8 months. At least I did 8 months ago.
Wait, I started in May. When did you start?
I started last week of April.
Oh shit! I guess it's already been 8 months.
Yeah, and I only know because I'm updating my LinkedIn and stuff, and it tells you there how long.
8 months.
Yeah, exactly. So I was like, oh wow.
Yeah.
But it's gone by so fast.
Mm-hmm.
I think just once you jump into filming, the momentum of it, it's just gone in a blink of an eye.
It really is. What do you do here? Can you? Can you tell
So
us?
I am the assistant to the co-executive producer George Perkins.
Ooh.
He's taken on a lot of the line producing, which means for me, I sit at my desk all day waiting for emails to come in, and
you must be so good at writing emails. I'm like, holy shit.
Still get email anxiety though.
I get such email anxiety.
Bad.
I literally overthink it. I'm like, oh my god,
do I
send paragraphs in essay format, or I'm like, do I just keep it short and simple? I never know.
Totally.
I never know.
I try to be professional about it, but not sound like a robot all the time.
Right.
Too
animated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and it's funny because I was corresponding with Will Thayer from Paramount. Yeah, on the studio side. And I always I'm really professional with the studio because they're kind of running the show here.
Yeah, right.
Behind,
a little bit.
behind the scenes. But I'd sent something to him that he asked for, and then he just replies with "Thanks, dude."
So that changed everything.
Right. So that's
and
what
now,
I realized.
All these deals are like, "Thanks, dude."
Yeah. I'm like, cheers.
Send me your contract. Thanks, dude.
Exactly. Yeah. So, basically, I email a lot. Kind of help George jump into the day with things running smoothly.
Okay.
Anything that needs to be updated, making sure it's on his desk.
Yeah.
And anytime the show runs into an obstacle, making sure that we're not missing anything.
What type of obstacles do you encounter with your position that you on a daily? What's the range? I guess a small encounter or problem versus how big can it get?
Yeah. So I guess I'll go with the big one because that's just most you'll notice when something big happens. If for a cast or crew member to become sick, which happens.
Looks at me.
But I will say,
okay, just the COVID department.
I mean, not pointing fingers, but no, I'm kidding.
When someone gets sick, we have to
No, but even because I'm sure like
Yeah.
it doesn't even have to be COVID.
No.
It could just be
It
someone.
could be the flu.
Yeah.
You just have a bad day. You're feeling
Right.
off.
Exactly.
Right.
And you don't want to you can't force anyone to feel uncomfortable. You shouldn't.
Right.
And also the safety of your crew, like
Mm-hmm.
one person comes in, even if it's just a cold
Yeah.
could put out a whole group.
whole ass crew.
Yeah, exactly. So when stuff like that would happen,
Yeah.
and we have to shift around scenes or days,
Mhm.
you have to.
Mhm.
That's one of the big uh-ohs, because then you have to
being
retrack.
asked to like help reschedule, or are you like they're coming up with the plan and then you are like putting it on like paper or like putting it on the email thread? Like,
Yeah.
what's the extent?
That's more like it, like
Okay.
kind of like communicating
Okay.
what has changed.
Mhm.
I know the ADs are the ones, the assistant directors,
Right.
Are the ones who build the schedule, right? So, my God, my heart goes out to them whenever something happens and they have to like get off set.
I know.
Or step away
literally
from set.
saw it
Yeah.
happen, and I was just like, oh
gosh.
God, oh God, oh God.
Yeah,
oh God.
yeah, it is great. Unsung heroes of
Yes.
production, really.
Yes.
But no, so my job was more like, okay, once they put their schedule together,
Mhm.
what things does George
Yeah.
and the studio have to know that's changed for sure?
Okay.
So things I was handling, like if a director would shoot an episode earlier than they were supposed to,
Oh.
they have to get a waiver to do that.
Oh, they do?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Otherwise, it's illegal.
Call the cops.
Yeah. We're shut down. We get swatted, actually.
Yeah. We're like, is this real or is this part of the scene?
Yeah.
You never know, honestly. Like, you really never know.
It was kind of intense seeing like cops. Reno, I think is on the studio lot, and it's crazy seeing like cops
for
around.
Rookie or
Or
no,
for Rookie. That's right. It's Rookie. Yeah. And when they changed all our stuff to LAPD, and I saw the cop cars
I know. I was
around,
like, what's happening?
Yeah. I was like, should I be here right now?
I think I even asked a cop. Well, he was an actor dressed as a cop, and I was like, are you real? Like, and he was like, oh, like he was so flattered. He's like, thank you. Like that means I look the part. And I was like, yeah, you do. I would have. Yeah, you could have arrested me. I wouldn't have.
I bet you made his day. Like,
he did say I made his day. So
awesome. Like, yeah, because you have to think
know.
about I imagine for actors really embodying all parts of the character, right? It's like with the cop, kind of like the stature, the posture.
Your posture is I'm like, oh my God, speaking of posture, I need to sit up.
I've given up.
Yeah, wait. Now, since you work office hours,
yeah.
Did you have a 9 to 5, or were you mirroring the schedule or like the hours that we were doing on set?
No. You guys on set were
You're like, no,
crazy.
I like sleep.
Yeah.
I have a social life.
It would be.
You're like, I have a girlfriend.
Yeah, it would be tough to maintain the outside life with set hours.
Right.
No, I would hang out as much as George needed me.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes he would head out a little earlier sometimes.
Yeah.
And just ask me to stick around.
Right. Those extra pair of eyes.
Yeah, if he had like a commitment or something.
Okay.
But no, I did not stay for those overnights, those shooting until midnight. Yeah, that wasn't my schedule.
That's actually good to know though. So if you're working in the office for a production, mm-hmm. you most likely don't have to do those crazy long hours.
Yeah.
You can still experience the industry and be part of the mm-hmm. production, but not have to like freaking lose sleep in a social life.
Yeah.
Wow, there's balance.
Yeah, I know.
What?
It's possible in film.
It's possible?
Yeah.
That's so good to know.
Work the regular hours. Usually like 9 to 5. Mm-hmm. If we had something scheduled before or after, mm-hmm. I would come in a little earlier. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I think that I love set. Yeah. I love looking at set.
What would you like to do? What's your goal?
I think in the industry overall.
Yes, in the industry.
So while I love set, I want to be in the office. I want to line produce.
Oh. Okay, so this is your space.
Totally,
you're like,
totally.
I'm fucking comfortable.
Yeah. But I was gonna say, as much as I love set
mm-hmm.
and I love the energy on
mm-hmm.
set, I think that I find my comfort zone like literally behind the scenes, because set's already behind the scenes.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Cool. And did you like go to school for like producing, or are you like, how did you get here.
Yeah.
Because everyone's path is so different. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like some people will be like, yeah, I went to like this school, or I went to film school, or I didn't go to school at all, or YouTube University. So I'm just like curious, like, what was your path, you know?
I think YouTube University got me into college.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Shout out YouTube.
Yeah, for real. Where all indie filmmakers' careers are born.
Mm-hmm.
I in high school I took like a film studies class.
Okay.
And I was like, this film stuff, it's pretty cool. It's
I kind of like it.
Yeah. I always heard like, try to get into something you love doing, entertainment, film and television.
Right.
That is absolutely what I want to like, do the rest of my life. Yeah, absolutely. So I started to look into colleges for that. USC popped out. I was like, that's probably a good school to aim for.
I didn't get in.
Yeah. No, I think I got into like only USC. Everywhere else.
Honestly though, that's not a bad flex. Like I got into only USC, but I got it.
Yeah. But it was scary for a little bit because as I got the rejections coming in, I was like, ooh, I'm putting a lot more emphasis on my reach school, because it was my, shoot for the stars school.
Right.
And I was lucky enough to get in. And while I was there in the film production program, they have you do a lot of different things. You could do you could explore editing, production designing, sound design. I started to figure out that I was good at producing and that I loved to do it. Yeah. So I just started to tag onto more like student productions and stuff. And eventually senior year, I wound up in a class that was like, it's called Straight to Series. And you make 3 like 10-minute episodes of a series.
Okay.
And I was the post-production producer for that.
Cool.
And my professor loved just the way I was filling the role. Yeah. And she knew George. George actually was a guest speaker in the class.
Did she know him like on a friend level or on a teacher to teacher
I think
level?
I'm pretty sure on a friend level.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
At least they I remember he told me recently that he ran into her at a wedding.
Okay, yeah, they're probably friends.
I think it's safe to say.
Like, they hate each other.
yeah. He said he would stay as far away from her as possible.
Yeah, right.
No.
Okay, wait. So you're in school. Your teacher's like, we're gonna have a guest speaker, and it happens to be George. Whoa.
Yeah. So.
And then fast forward. She's working for George. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, we're gonna get there.
It was kind of cool to have all these like industry people working in the industry come into class, because at USC, like some of the professors have already started to take a step back from actually producing,
right,
and they're just leaning more into teaching. But this class was really cool because not only did the professors like they were working, you know, but my professor Gail Katz brought in like people who were involved in the industry now. So,
that's pretty badass.
Yeah,
I mean, that's kind of, makes sense why USC is that school, right? It's like it gives you those connections that you're like you would never get anywhere else.
Right,
like,
exactly.
I went to film school, but like we didn't get connections like that. They had guest speakers too, but it never went further than like ask a question and then they'll answer it, and then that's like kind of it. And like I've reached out to some of my teachers from film school and not hear back. I did not.
That's the worst. It's like
I was like, I just spent $100,000 and it's fine. I'll just take my ass somewhere else.
No, that's awful. It's already such a hard industry to get your foot in the door,
and there's no clear path. Like anybody you ask, or even people who have come on the podcast, like nobody's had the same story.
Yeah.
It's been so different for everybody. That's why I was like so curious. And you're actually one person, or not one of the few that I've had on the podcast that has gone to USC and has been able to like get a connection and grow from that, which is really cool. That's why I want to know more.
Yeah.
Okay, so he comes to your school.
Yeah, and he gave a little presentation on line producing and talked a lot about doing work on Desperate Housewives and and being like how early on he was an AD on some projects.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, some features.
Twist.
Yeah. Okay. Which I also think is an interesting path, the AD to line producer.
Yeah, is that a common path?
I think it is because they're both very like logistical, organized, based, looking at schedules.
Right.
Even George now, the ADs, figure out, okay, from our cast availability, when
Mm-hmm.
can we schedule certain scenes and stuff like that,
Mm-hmm.
and location avails. But George also does as much of that, you know, like
Yeah.
it kind of lands on his plate first
Right.
before it goes out to the ADs. So
there's so many things you don't see that are happening behind the scenes, like even things that I don't see. Like I was just seeing the stuff directly happening on set, but like there's so much going on in the office space.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like that. I feel like that's such a like taboo area because it's like we know it's there, but like tell us more.
right. Yeah. No, I was gonna say I always wondered, okay, for how much chaos is happening in the office that we're hearing
how
about.
much of it gets to
yeah,
set?
how much of the tension or like the oh no, what's gonna happen
Right.
next is like reaching set.
To be honest, not that much reach set. I think the only stuff that like that I knew what was happening is like when we would get positive COVID, like
right.
you know, results. That was scary because that's like, okay, we have to think obviously about the person who got it. We think about the crew. Then we also have to think about the production. Is it gonna shut us down? Is it gonna, you know, make us have to like rearrange everything? Which it did. There were situations where that did happen, but I feel like those types of things were more. It was avoidable. Like you couldn't avoid that because it's like literally you only have like, you know, 3 really main characters, and it's like if one's missing, you're like. Right. Oh, I wonder what happened. Right. So it's like stuff like that was like that would get around on set, but. If anybody ever asked, I'd be like, oh, I don't know. I can't disclose that because it's HIPAA, it's private. You're not allowed to talk about that kind of stuff.
I also found that very funny that you could just take a look at the new schedule compared to the old schedule and be like, I wonder why we're not shooting scenes with this one character anymore, you know?
I don't know what happened. Yeah, so those days were, like, I felt bad and I felt shitty because I'm like, you know, you try to, like, keep everybody, like, safe and you want to do your part of the job well, which, you know, is very different from what I really want to do outside of this. Like, obviously, like, people on the podcast or I've been listening to the podcast, they know I want to write and direct, and COVID was like paying the bills. But it still felt like shitty when somebody would get it because it felt like, oh, it's my fault, even though like it wasn't, but it felt like totally I feel like the show is having to switch a lot of things because of this. That's my department and I'm in charge of that. So like you carry some guilt in a weird way. Like, I don't know, very different like stuff that probably you had to deal with.
Yeah.
Like,
that makes sense though.
You know?
Because I remember, I think it was you who had mentioned it was something related to the like kind of cold shoulder that COVID can feel. As like, oh, I am the cause, or I am like continuing this pandemic, but like really you guys are the ones catching it before it explodes in our faces, you know? Because like you can't do anything about you know, someone who decided, oh, let me like go party before I
like what you do on
come
the
to
weekends.
Set, right? Which that doesn't happen to everyone, but like, you know, probably
there's a higher chance of you catching it if you do, you know, go out more and you're around more people and all that stuff. So like, that those things would happen, but I would have to kind of like remind myself like, okay, what people do on their own over the weekend, like you're not gonna be able to control that, but like don't take it personal. You know what I mean? Even with like on-set compliance sometimes. It was hard sometimes to not take it personal because I'm like, do they not like me? Like, because I would just ask them nicely, like, hey, like, can you put your mask on? And then I'd get like an eye roll or like this is this is stupid. And I'm just like, God. I get it, like it sucks, but I'm not here trying to like argue with you. And like in the beginning, I was like, they hate me, you know what I mean? But towards the end, I was like, I don't care. You wear your mask. I'm not like here to like do this. So you know, over time. The patience slowly goes away.
That's the worst response. Like you're literally just doing your job. Like everyone's just doing their job here. I mean,
I get it though, because everyone's here like, we're creating art and you're just the COVID department. Which I'm like, I get it. But if we didn't have a COVID department, we probably wouldn't be able to do this. So you live and you learn.
And you shouldn't have to like compromise safety to do something.
And I'm like, apparently we have to. Apparently.
Like honestly, I've had so many like student production like horror stories of like just like long hours or just like trying to do something super ambitious that like
ends up not working out.
Yeah. And it's like,
far-fetched.
it's just a short or it's just a project.
Yes.
It's just entertainment.
Yes.
You don't need to like make someone drive sleepy. Make someone,
I think we forget about that. Like we like at the end of the day, we are making entertainment. We're making a movie. We're making a show. Whatever the content is, like we're trying to like bring happiness or whatever we're trying to bring, like show, right? Or like it could even be like, you know, like a documentary, like describing like a real life situation. Like we're bringing awareness to stuff. So we just got to remember, like, we're still making content. Let's not like get over our heads.
Totally.
Because it's easy to kind of get sucked into all of this, like, industry. Because the industry, I don't know if you would agree with this, but do you feel like it's not like a regular type of industry, like work industry? Like we get certain perks that are like more exciting maybe for like people who are not in industry. Because I get messaged a lot like, oh my God, like work looks so cool. And I'm like, yeah, the catering, the free, like all that stuff is awesome. But we are working like 14-hour days sometimes. You know what I mean? So like there's like, you work, but you also get rewarded. You know what I mean? And you know, obviously sometimes on social media, we just show like the cool stuff, the fun stuff. Yeah.
And not the eye strain from
and not the crying on the way home. It's like, I'm exhausted. Yeah. But okay, so when you met George at USC, like what was that like? Did you guys instantly have a connection? That sounds like you were gonna fall in love or something. Sorry, that was a weird way to put it. Did you just...
a fatal attraction, perhaps? No. We didn't talk because he zoomed in.
That makes more sense. I was like,
a lot of our speakers zoomed in.
I was about to be more impressed by you. Be like, damn, he got this job without even talking.
No, I don't even think I asked the question while he was speaking. No, he just zoomed in. Yeah, I was in the class while he was giving his presentation, and then I didn't think too much of it because it was like middle of the semester while we're kind of in the thick of things. Right. So I kind of just, you know, pivoted back to the project. Okay. Like I wasn't even thinking like, I should reach out to George or anything like that. Okay. And then by the end of the semester, like I'd say like 3 weeks before graduation, maybe like a month, I was watching the cuts, giving notes. I wasn't giving notes actually. My professor was giving notes. I was taking down the notes. For her. Yeah. I wasn't that important.
I love how her brain like rewrites the story.
Yeah. I was cutting up the project.
Hey, you could have fooled me. Like,
no, I was transcribing notes. And my professor just like, I guess was enjoying the way we were working together, and she's like, "Are you graduating this semester?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm senior." You know, she's like, "Do you have?" Plan. Yeah. I'm like, fingers crossed.
Like, hopefully, will you pass me?
And it did get close. But she was like, "Well, do you have anything lined up?" And I'm like, "No." And she's like, "Okay." And I was like, in my stomach, I'm like, "Oh yes." Like kind of just planted the seed of like I'm unemployed. You know.
I need a job.
Yeah, exactly. I felt like I had the LinkedIn looking for work banner put on me at that moment. And she like ended up calling me like out of the blue one night and was like, "Hey, do you remember like George Perkins?" And I was like, "Yeah, I do." She's like, "Well, he's looking for an assistant to start like soon. The catch is you would have to start before you graduate. Like you would have to balance starting work
and a new job
and a new job. Yeah. And that was really tough for me to like I knew I had to jump into the job,
you knew like you had to do it.
Yeah.
But obviously it's kind of scary.
Yeah,
like
it was.
You're at USC, like you're about to graduate. It's not like an easy school. We all know that. Yeah. I'm sad because I didn't get in. And then like, we all know that. And then on top of that, you don't even because this is your first like office job.
Yes, this is my first industry job.
Okay.
Like just professional credit.
So you probably were a little nervous, right? A little scared. Like, what am I getting myself into? Like, what even is the requirements of this job? Like, did she tell you?
She told me it was full time. It was going to be on a show.
Which already sounds scary because you're in school.
Right,
so you're
right,
like, how
exactly.
The fuck am I full-time?
So, that was like my first, like, okay, challenge number one. And then she was like, it's for a show, so it would be a good, like, run, right? It would be a good opportunity.
Yeah.
to get your foot in the door.
Mm-hmm.
And I told her, well, I'm still like in your class. Like, what would
Yeah.
happen with that?
Yeah.
She's like, well, there was another post producer who was we were partnering.
Right.
He was like tackling some sound stuff while I was doing more picture stuff. She was like, talk to him. I'll talk to him. We could figure out a way to split stuff up. The producers, the EPs, like on the production side, right? Who like are there for the run of the show.
Yeah.
Like, from development to post.
Right.
She's like, they could also take on more. And, I would be okay with you missing class as long as,
Dude, what a plug.
Yeah.
Honestly, that is.
Shout out Gail Katz. She is the
Gail
best.
Katz, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, we need more teachers like that.
Yeah.
Not like my teacher that never hit me back.
Dude, yeah, like that's so rude.
I'm like, it's fine. I only have mild trauma from it.
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, if it's any consolation, she was the only professor that really gave me a kind of, legit professional push.
It's one person that sees it in you and that like can give you that opportunity and that changes everything.
Totally.
Like obviously it happens different for every person and maybe at different times in their life. But it really just takes one person to really believe in you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because her, like encouragement made me like understand like, yes, I have to like still study for finals, still take finals, still wrap up like my final course load stuff while doing this job. But like, this is the chance to do it,
Yes,
and
this is the opportunity.
Yeah. And hearing her be like, I'm willing to accommodate you was like, oh,
that doesn't happen
that
all
I
the time.
can do it. Yeah, exactly.
So she already thought you could do it, and
right.
now you just got to be the one to like believe in yourself.
Yeah,
then you can do it.
Exactly. Yeah.
So you did it, and what I know, right? Here we are, and you finished.
Yeah.
But like, what was that first month like for you? Were you able to jump into it like easily, or were some things a challenge, or were there things that you feel like maybe it could have done that better?
George, I was really lucky to have a really nice first boss. George
is the sweetest. He
so
really is.
Good to me.
So nice.
He was just very understanding of, there's certain classes you can't get out of, and you also have to take finals. So my challenges were immediately like, how can I, because during school I didn't work. I was really just trying to make it through school. And I would pick up like,
about that.
and I would pick up projects here and there.
Yes.
But trying to balance like a part-time with school just felt very overwhelming to me.
Yeah, 100%.
So it was really my first experience doing that. So that was a challenge. And I think that I had to get used to the kind of bouncing back and forth.
Yeah.
Because even here, we talked about this recently, like trying to work on personal projects. You feel like split-brained between
literally.
I have to be my best little assistant, but I also have to be, while I was graduating, like a good student.
Right.
I have to not skip these classes,
not fail classes.
Yeah. Submit all my homework on time so I could actually graduate.
Right.
And so kind of that adjustment to like professional versus
from
academic
student to professional. Yeah. That's a big jump.
It was hard.
People don't talk about that either. Like, I feel like it's just like, just go to college, like, get your degree. But what happens after college?
Yeah.
Like, what are you supposed to do after you graduate? I got kind of the shit end of the stick as well, because I graduated during COVID, May 2020 from film school. So like, we didn't have a graduation. We didn't have, like, my movie didn't get screened at Warner Brothers like it was supposed to. Like, so many things were lost, right? And I already felt like, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing after this. Like, how do you get into the industry? And then on top of that, with COVID, it was really unknown. But like, nobody ever tells you like, hey, after you graduate college, like, try to look into these steps, or like do this, or like, put yourself out there, go to like networking events and stuff like that. So after I graduated, I was like, it was just silent. Like, I was like, I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
And I
what
feel
a tough time to graduate too.
Right?
Jesus Christ. Oh,
not ideal, but
no,
we made it. We're here.
I can only I count my blessings that I didn't have to face that immediate pandemic uncertainty, right?
Yeah.
That must be so scary. But you made it here.
I made it here.
I
know. That's honestly like 2 years ago, like things were so different. So I'm so happy and blessed. Like I think that's another thing. Like, we're always looking like, how do I get to the next thing? Like, how do I elevate? Like, how to elevate my career? How do I get to where I need to get? But I'm like, enjoy the steps that it takes to get there as well. Yeah. So I feel like we're always like, go. Or or at least I'm like, okay. You know, like
me right now facing the void of unemployment.
Literally,
You know?
no, literally. Like before we decided to, you know, do this episode, we were like standing by the bathroom because we both happened to come out of the bathroom, and I was like, "Hey,
what's up with you? What's
what did
next?
you just do?"
Yeah.
But we were like just talking about how we were both unemployed after this because Izzy's last day is today, and mine will officially be November 30th. So you know we're almost done here. And it is really scary and unknown what we're doing next because we don't know. And it's always like, what will come?
Yeah.
I don't know. But do you see yourself, because you mentioned Georgia was taking a break, right? Or like like he's not doing anything the remainder of the year, right?
Yeah, he is originally from Florida,
So
or I should say he lives in Florida.
Okay.
I'm not sure if he was born in the state of Florida, but he I don't know his life like that.
Yeah, you don't. I'm like, what's his credit score?
Yeah. I don't know. What's his social security? So yeah, he's going back home to Florida.
Okay.
Which I, totally like.
How are you guys
understand.
like ending? Like how have you guys talked about it? Like
no,
like,
we went through the professional breakup routine of like
wait, what is it?
You
Let
know?
me know. I want to know if I have a professional breakup.
Well, like a month ago, I was like, well, what are you looking towards next? Are you planning to move on? What's up? What's
that does sound like
the
a
next thing?
breakup for each other.
Yeah, literally.
Do you see me in your future?
Yeah. It was really tough. But I asked him, and I think that just doing this job as long as he's done, I think I can understand wanting to spend time at home because
I get it.
even I going to school in LA, right? I'm originally from Chicago.
Woo! I love Chicago. Awesome.
Such a beautiful city.
Yes.
And cold right now.
Freezing.
Not looking forward to it.
When I went to Chicago, it happened to be like one of the coldest times I had ever been. It was like in 2019 or 2018.
That might have been like the polar freeze
year. Yes, it was. It was. And I literally like your breath like felt like it was going to freeze when you talked. I was like, what the fuck?
It's horrible.
I was like, how did I choose the one week where it was like Antarctica vibes? Okay, so you guys talked about it and you're like, do you see me?
Yeah, basically. And he just let me know that he doesn't want me waiting on him. And
he's like, it's not you.
Yeah, exactly. But he, is still gonna look out for the next opportunity.
That's amazing though. Like you guys obviously will keep in touch. If he ends up working on something later on next year, hopefully he will hit you up. Like, I'm sure he will. Like, I feel like you guys work really well together. And this also gives you the opportunity to work on your own stuff in between, finding maybe your next gig, or also being able to work for someone else or for another production and meet more connections and snowball into, producing if that's, the next. Yeah, let me know what happened. Were you able to get any like producing tips, or was this role specifically like more assistant? Like, yeah,
I think it was because of the nature of being on a show. Yeah, like more assistant geared, right? And that was actually, going back to like transitioning from like school to here, right? Like in school, I was with all these indie projects. Like you're used to covering like a lot of everything, right? You kind of poke your nose into
wear
everything.
All the hats, too.
Right? Yeah. Exactly. So one thing I had to get used to was like in the professional world, you should stick to doing the job that you're paid for, right? Because if you don't, it could be seen as like stepping on toes.
Yes, it really is. Yeah. And I saw that too on set. Like we learned that in film school, but we really saw it on set. Like even when it came to simply just moving like an air machine, and it was they're like, you need to move it. And I was like, you hear your name being called over the walkie. You're like, oh my god, what is it? Like who has COVID? And then it's like, can you move your air machine? And right. Like, oh yeah. Even though like it's small and they could lift it, but it's very like your department, you do your thing, I do my, like we do our thing, we don't touch your stuff.
I forgot about this camera. Yeah, what's up, B cam?
What's up, B cam, A cam? What's up?
Yeah, but no, because there's like union rules, like you can't touch certain stuff.
Right. Yeah. So maybe the next gig will be more producer focused.
Yeah. I mean, I hope to, seeing George tackle all the stuff that he did, just like
Did it overwhelm you or did it excite you?
No, it was exciting.
Okay,
It was
okay,
really
okay.
exciting because I got to see, okay, how do you handle some of the same stuff that comes up on like smaller productions, right? Like indie projects and stuff. But how do you handle that in the real world? Right? Yeah,
like,
exactly.
So much bigger.
Exactly. So like, you know, seeing the way that he communicates with crew, cast, like even like accommodations he would provide.
Right.
You know, I remember early on, and I really loved that him and the team did this. They sent out an email saying like, if you feel tired, you know, let us know if you want a hotel room,
which is so
which
nice.
is awesome. Yeah, because you know that's one of the first steps in making sure that like you're gonna have a good project is like making sure that your people are taken care of. Exactly.
Yeah, like they feel like, you know, they have my back. Like they're not having me drive from like a far location and we wrap at like midnight and drive like an hour back. Like, yeah, I mean, it feels so good to have a crew and a production that really like cares about you. And it really does start with the producers and even the directors and everything like that. So it's nice for it to like trickle down. You really never know. Like you took that, you were in that lecture room and you saw George, but nothing like in that moment clicked maybe because you're like, he's literally a speaker. But then flash forward and like look where you're at now. So it's like, you never know. Yeah. You never know who that person's going to be. Right. So, you know, stay open to that. Yeah. Before I say bye and we end the episode, I just want to say happy early birthday.
Thank you.
I know it's your birthday tomorrow. Are you celebrating?
Yeah, I'm going to see spiders at a museum with my girlfriend.
Oh, are you into spiders?
Not particularly. She's actually very afraid of them, but she got a recommendation. Yeah. She got a recommendation of like exposure therapy. So that is kind of like
I think that's real because I'm deathly afraid of birds. I'm
Oh, no. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to laugh at that.
No, I laugh at it too.
I love birds. Yeah, they're so pretty and cute.
No, pigeons?
Well, pigeons are like flying rats. Yeah. We don't love pigeons.
Right. So a pigeon flew once and the wing hit me in the forehead.
Oh.
Yeah, so I feel like, and I screamed like I got shot. I was like,
oh my
God. I was like, oh my God.
That must have felt like a shot because birds fly fast.
Goosebumps on my skin right now. I can't even think about it. But anyway, I get it because I'm scared of birds, and my boyfriend's been like trying to get a bird, and I'm like, maybe that will conquer my fear.
Start small.
You know,
little parakeet.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure chickens are the most populated bird around the world. So,
are you guys getting a chicken?
No, I don't want a chicken. Even though he would love a chicken, I'm like, no.
People keep them in like their backyards.
I know, and we have the space for it, but I'm like, don't tell him that. I'm like, oh, you should wait.
Yeah.
I was always so scared to come home from set to like a fucking bird in the house. Like,
could you imagine?
I could imagine.
Terrifying.
No, literally, I was like, I swear to God, if I come home, there's a pigeon in the house. But enjoy your birthday festivities. It's gonna be so much fun. Hopefully you don't turn into Spider-Man, or maybe maybe you will, and we can have a new movie.
Yeah, Spider-Man in the film industry.
Tom Holland, step aside.
Yeah, producer man.
Spider
producer. He just emails 8 people at once with all his arms.
He's just like in the office, like in the halls, just like swinging around.
I don't know why I thought about like a human spider first. I didn't think about this.
This is why you produce, and I want to do directing. Yeah. We'll stick to that.
Yeah. You've got the vision. I just explore possibilities.
Exactly. Well, I would love to work on something in the future together. Maybe something independent. You never know. Stay tuned, guys. Thanks again for coming on.
Totally. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, if you want your Instagram so they can follow you.
Yeah. What is it? Israel.
I was like, oh, that's a cool one. What is it?
What is it? Yeah, actually, that could be fun. It's Israel.a.gomez. Yeah, if you add me on Instagram, I might add you to my close friends story where I post memes pretty regularly.
I love it.
I hope you don't think less of me if you end up on that story. It's pretty.
I'll have to follow you.
I want you to think the most of me, so I'll just keep you to the. No, I'm kidding.
No, I know. Every time, like, I'm gonna follow you on Instagram. I'm like, how did they find me? And I'm like, well, my last name gives it away because it's like so long and it's German. But then also I'm like, cool, yeah, I'll see you on social media. And then I'm like, oh no, you're gonna know so much about me.
The like, Instagram persona. Yeah.
I'm like, I am so different on Instagram than I am at work. Like, stress. But anyway, thank you guys for tuning in, and we'll see you guys next week. Bye.
Peace out.
Yay!